What is good, everybody? It's your boy Slam, aka Mr. Different, back with another video. And today we're going to take a look at probably the best bass VST virtual instrument plugin out there. I don't know, maybe. Brought to you by the guys at Wave Audio. This is called Bass Fingers. We're going to take a look at it, go over it, see what it sounds like, and see if it's something that you guys might be interested in. But let's check out a little beat that I made using Bass Fingers so you can see what it sounds like in context with a whole beat. All right, so there it is right there. That is Bass Fingers. Sounds pretty decent. You know, I'm going to go over it, what I think about it, give you my, 1-2 cents, all that good stuff. Do remember that until the end of June 30th, I should have made this announcement a while back, but every plugin on Wave's website is 50% off. Also, if you use my link in the description below, you will get yourself an additional 10% off on top of the 50% off. So you'll get a total of 60% off all plugins on Waves Audio right now till June 30th, 2019. So yeah, this is a chance to get all the plugins that you want from Waves. Link in the description below. Go ahead and hop on some of these because this might be one I might pick up right now. I'm doing the demo version, but I might be picking this one up myself. So let's jump right to what Bass Fingers really is. Now, Bass Fingers is a, I guess, continuation of their bass plugins. I know they make the bass slapper. Now they had the fingers because it's finger bass, and there's different types of ways of bass. I'm not a bass player, so don't crucify me, don't get mad, and don't start yelling at me or anything like that. I'm not a bass player, so any bass plugin would be definitely helpful. And this one seems to be a really good one. I want to put in my arsenal, especially when I do them lo-fi type beats or hip hop type beats, stuff like that. And want a bass line, this might be my go-to right here for here on out. So basically, what it is basically a bass sample plugin. So it is comprised of a bunch of samples. They do have a HD and a SD folder, which are pretty big. I think total they're like 17 gigs. The HD folder is like 15 gigs, and then the SD is like a couple of gigs. But it's a pretty big folder, but it's high quality. You got standard definition, then you got high definition samples. So you could choose. Right now, I just got the SD loader because it's faster to load up that way. You have different controls for the bass and the tone of your bass, such as you got a vintage, modern mode, so you can go to more of a vintage style bass. So to a more modern sound. But I leave it like right in the middle because just half and half. You got a low boost, sub octave but knob. If you want to, of course, just kind of give the low end a little boost. And if you hold Alt and double click, it'll reset it to normal. You got a release and decay knob, and then you got a mechanical knob as well to kind of just mess with the mechanical noise and then the release and decay of the bass. So simple stuff right there, nothing special. Then you have a simple parametric EQ, which has bass, low mids, high mids, and then treble. So you kind of shape the sound of your bass to fit your style of music or beat. You got different levels. Over here, we change the limiter. They have a limiter. They have the direct signal. Then they have different amp sims as well, so you could change the different type of amp simulations in there. So you get a little bit of a different tone right there. And then you have your power knobs where you can actually turn off different things in here to change it. Then you have your velocity, which basically you can change the velocity of the bass. But I just leave it on full level that way, depending on how you play, you'll play all the velocity. So pretty dope as well. Then you come down to the fretboard down here where you can change the different, I think you could change the different fingering or the fretboard notes you want to play. I'm not a bass player, so don't get mad at me. I'm just, telling you what I've seen. Right now I got set over here to a disc control we'll get to, but you can set this if you don't have adaptive mode on there. You can actually set this to a different, fretboard where you want to play. So and then we'll change the sound up. And then you got stuff over here, which I'll show you what this all is in just a second. So over here, you got different functions. You got MIDI functions, and you got articulation control. So basically how it sounds and if it sounds more realistic or more fake and stuff like that. MIDI function, of course, you can have different MIDI functions. So you have follow, reverse, MIDI controls right there, velocity modulation, simple stuff like that. You can transpose it. So it's different MIDI control, which you can probably do inside your MIDI roll, piano roll. Now the articulation is basically how it's going to articulate, so you can have a more of a realistic or more stereotype sound. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, it's up to you. I put on adaptive, so it's basically changing depending on the playing notes and velocity and all that. Then you have the legato type, which is basically, you know, the different, if it's going to be more of a realistic type of legato, or you can change to stuff like extended, force, always or off. So it's up to you. I just leave it on realistic and I put position on adaptive, and it does a good job there for me. It sounds pretty cool. And you have your string range, so you can determine the range of strings and notes you'll play. So you get different tones that way, which is pretty cool, pretty unique. It's up to you to play around with. Like I said, that's up to you. I say I'll just leave it alone, leave it on what it is, and just have a ball with it. And then you have these effects, which are, you know, that's really going to give you the most shape and tone out of it. You have a few effects. You only have 7 different effects, but they're good enough. You have five pre-effects and then 2 post-effects. Well, your post, of course, will be delay and reverb, because usually you want to put your delays and reverb after the fact anyway, like busts and all that kind of stuff. And then you got these pre-effects right here. So you got a comp, which is basically compressor, overdrive, which is basically distortion, a wah, so that wah wah sound. You got the phaser and the chorus. So, you know, compressor would be just to kind of give it some more gain and stuff like that. So if I turn it off, it's a good way to make sure all the notes kind of have that same velocity, that same sound. Because when you're playing the bass, you usually want to have that. You got a distortion, which, you know, you can turn on. You get like a little grittier sound. You know, I got a little bit of overdrive right now, but I got it on a low gain setting. That's kind of cool. Get like some of that funky bass type stuff. You turn the wah on. So it gets that cool old funky bass. You got a phaser. And then the chorus. So cool little stuff right there, you know, built into the effect inside the sound. So that way you kind of, you know, go ahead and have the sound you want before you get to the mixing phase and do some EQ and stuff like that. Then of course you got delay and a reverb, which I don't know who uses reverb on delays. Probably people out there do it. I don't do it. So whatever. And then a reverb, of course. That actually sound pretty good. Give a little bit of space to it. So that's dope. And then you have a ton of presets, which you can initialize it, which I just initialized it, which I wish I didn't. But I should be able to revert that back. So yeah, that's my initial preset. But yeah, so you got different presets. You can click in here. And like I said, you can choose between your HD and your SD folder. Like I said, it's HD one takes a little bit longer to load up. So if you don't got it on SSD or something like that, it's gonna take a long time to load up. So just keep that in mind. But you can switch between the SD sample standard definition or the high definition samples as well. And it's a bass. I mean, and then like I think extra low notes, you know, you got mutes. So like really low notes become mute notes, and then really high notes become slides. That's always dope. You know, do your little Drake, you know, what's that best you ever had? And like I said, once you put this in a beat, let me bring my beat back a little bit. yeah, I don't want to go too in depth with it. I don't like doing in-depth reviews that much anymore. I just want to kind of show you what it sounds like, a little overview, that's everything. Now, what do I think about this plugin? That's the main question. Well, I actually like it. Like I said, I don't own a bass plugin. The only other bass plugin I own is, of course, Boo Bass. It's inside the FL Studio, which, you know, you can get away with that if you really have to. I mean, I also got the Contact bass expansions as well. They're pretty good. They're pretty dope. Yeah, but they're not, you can't really do a whole lot with them, unlike this one, which I do like this. In fact, since it's half off right now, I'm definitely going to pick it up because I think it's a really good bass edition. I want to check out the slapper too. Like I said, I like the finger because, you know, most bass players are finger bassing anyway, so I think this is a more traditional style. I think it can fit better with all genres of music and all genres of beats you're going to be making. So I really do like it. And like I said, for the price right now, half off right now, and like I said, if you use my code below, you get an extra 10% off. Man, it's really a plugin you can't beat. I'm not really a big fan of Wave's instrument plugins, but I am gonna get this one because I really do like this. Also, I need to get the flow motion as well. That's definitely one as well. So I think Wave did a pretty good job with this one. It does sound like a sample bass plugin. It doesn't sound super realistic, but with that being said, it still sounds good. I mean, I think you get away with, especially if you're making like lo-fi or hip hop, or you try to make that Justice League type stuff, or you try to have something that have like a little real sounding bass a little bit. This can get you by. I think, you know, add a little swing to it, velocity note changes, add some slides and mutes with it. I think you get some pretty dope bass effects and bass sound with this, and it can be passable and doable, and, you know, make your beats sound better. Unless you want to just pick up a real bass, then it's really gonna sound good. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Like always, y'all know who it is, your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and SoundCloud. Also subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know what you think about this video. Is this something you might pick up, or you gonna use that code to get that 60% off so you cop this, or you gonna pick up any other Waves plugins? What Waves plugins do you guys want to see me review as well? Because I will be doing my top 5 Waves plugins coming up probably tomorrow, the next day. I'm gonna drop that video. That way I show you my top favorite Waves plugins. That way you guys can be on the lookout and get in yourself why they got this 50% off deal going on until June, the last day of June 2019. So with that being said, hope you guys like always. Y'all know what it is. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everybody.